Climb into your heart on twisted.
Cowboys swings, makes right one, deep left center field. Mullins looks up, and it's out of here.
Good morning, Mets family. It's your boy Rashid McDonald. And last night, the New York Mets played about as good a game you can play this early in the season. We already know the first 3 games of the season was a little bit of a having to warm up to whatever's going on. You know, like they say, pitchers are always ahead of hitters this early in the season. But for the Mets, it was no excuse, right? Offensively, they just didn't get it done. The hits weren't falling through, but they were making hard contact. But it's a loss, right? If it's an out, it's an out. And you can't really talk about an out, even if it's high exit velocity, because it's an out, right? You didn't do anything productive. But what you can get from that is the fact that it wasn't a poor at bat, right? And that's turning a negative into a positive is, well, it's not a poor at bat. You put good wood on it, and the next time it'll probably get through. And that was the case last night against the Marlins. So we're going to unpack everything. But first, let's get to the highlights. Mets taking on the Marlins in Miami, and David Peterson in his first start of the 2025 season. And bottom first, Otto Lopez is automatic. Opposite field, solo shot, fish up 1-0. Top third, Starling Marte. Batting leadoff for Francisco Lindor, no problem. Waiter, table for 1. Solo blast for Starling Marte, first of the season, picking it up. Top 5th, hey Siri, give me an RBI, please, as Jose Siri goes double to give the Mets the lead in the 5th. Next batter, Starling Marte gets hit by the pitch. That'll be his second hit by the pitch in the game. But Juan Soto said in Houston he wouldn't mind taking the walk, and he takes the walk there, passing the baton to Pete Alonso. Over $1 billion spent in the offseason on player A and player B, and Pete Alonso exit stage center. Grand slam for the Polar Bear. First of the season, Mets are up 6-1. Later on in the inning, Luis Torrens saying hello to Soriano. Wasn't sure at first if it was a home run, as you could tell by the reaction, but confirmed home run. Mets will go on to win the ball game 10-4. Tonight, we have a premier matchup on the mound. For the Mets, we have Kodai Senga, and for the Marlins, we have Sandy Alcantara, who, by all means, is on the block, and when he will be traded is to be determined. It's most likely going to happen. That is what everyone is predicting at this point. If you want a hot take from me, I believe that the Mets will and should be in on Sandy Alcantara, but that remains to be seen. We don't know if that's a possibility or if that's the case, but nonetheless, Sandy Alcantara and Kodai Senga tonight, and it's going to be a good one, right? One of the things that I want to talk about with Kodai Senga is, you know, a lot of people are feeling like there's a mystery of what Kodai Senga is going to bring to the table. And I feel like that does a disservice to him. And what I mean by that is his first season, his rookie season, was a good year, right? Finished, I think, was it top 3 in Rookie of the Year for his rookie season. And when you look at that, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Now, last year, he got hurt heading into the season, and he didn't make an appearance until July. But when he did make that appearance against the Atlanta Braves, he was every bit of the Kodai Senga we know, right? Ghost Fork was all over the place. Hitters were off balance. He was doing his thing, racked up 9-10 strikeouts. That's the Kodai Senga that honestly, because he's a professional, he's done this, he's a veteran, even though he hasn't been in Major League Baseball for so long, Kodai Senga is not a spring chicken, right? He's done this before. He's played ball, professional ball. Even though, Japan and the US is two different leagues, but I feel like we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I understand, he came back for the postseason and he didn't quite look like himself. So now there's, kind of question marks as to what he's going to bring this season. And I feel like that's a little bit unfair to him, right? Because we've seen what he can do at his best, at his healthiest. We've seen what Kodai Senga could do. So the simple fact that, we have question marks and people really questioning what he's going to bring to the table this season, in my opinion, if he's healthy, if he's ready to go, if he's, you're writing his name on that lineup and he's going to be on that mound, I'm expecting him to bring that Ghost Fork and he is going to make people look silly all game long, right? I think it's great that he's facing a Marlins lineup that isn't one of the best lineups in baseball. So that's something to build off of, sort of like with David Peterson last night, was able to get 9 Ks. Now, David Peterson was able to get 9 Ks. I'm pretty sure Kodai Senga could give you something similar. I'm expecting somewhere around 6 to 7, depending on how it can go. He can give you 10, right? But truthfully speaking, I just think that Kodai Senga is going to be the Kodai Senga we know, and that starts tonight. Sandy Alcantara, on the other hand, he's gonna bring it too. So I expect it to be probably low scoring, but it all depends, right? Because last night the bats woke up, and they can bring that over to tonight. But I don't expect it to be 10 runs. I don't think they're gonna drop 10 on Sandy Alcantara, and I wouldn't want to see that either. But and the reason why I say that is because, if this is somebody that we potentially want, we don't want him to look bad, but at the same time, we want to get the dub. So I say this: go out there, do what you do with the bats. I think the Mets are still going to win this game. I don't know it's going to be blowout fashion. I mean, if they get Sandy Alcantara to throw a lot of pitches early and then they get the bullpen in there from Miami, then I could see it getting out of hand for the Marlins and then they lose by a lot. But that's all remains to be seen, because it is Sandy Alcantara. He is a Cy Young candidate, and he is one of the best pitchers in baseball when healthy. So that is that nugget. So I want to jump into a little bit of what happened over the opening weekend series against the Houston Astros. And I liked a lot of what I saw. And what I mean by that is the bullpen was fantastic, right? In that series, 9.2 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts. Fantastic, phenomenal, no runs allowed. They did their job. Max Kranick, born to be a New York Met, and look at what he went out there and did with the bases loaded and 1 out. Got the big outs when it mattered most. So you already know high leverage was great. Jose Budo looked great. AJ Minter looked good. Stanek looked good. By all means, the Mets built a bullpen that I believe is going to be one of the top bullpens in the National League, if not baseball. It's good. It's really that good, right? If everything clicks, if everything goes the way it should go and nobody's overspent, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. On the other hand, the starting pitching looked good. Big drip drop. Shout out Mama McGill. She liked the graphic that we put up for Tyler McGill. So shout out to Mama McGill. But I'll tell you this, Tyler McGill, he does it, man. It's like he has the moments where he comes in, he's serviceable. He's serviceable. The only thing that has just been his kryptonite is consistency. If he can be consistent, game to game, start to start, right? And it also falls on the Mets coaches to really put him in position to succeed, meaning protect him, don't leave him out there to crash and burn, you know. And the thing I like about Tyler McGill is that he's a competitor, man. You see it in his face. He can compete with anybody. He likes to compete. He's a gamer. And that's why I like Drip Drop, because he just goes out there and he brings it, man. No matter what, you can't shake him. He's confident, big, tall dude, so you ain't going to scare him no way, no how. I like me some Tyler McGill, but he has to be consistent. And he did great his first start, 6 strikeouts, 5.2 innings. 5 2/3. You can't ask for anything more than that. Then we look at the opening day starter, right? Clay Holmes. It was one of his first starts since 2018. So there was some jitters opening day. There was a lot going on, right? And the strike zone wasn't what he expected it to be, so that kind of messed with his game plan a little bit. But I'll say this, he did a good job. He faces the Marlins tomorrow afternoon, so I hope that we have a better showing and we can see some good progress, some progression from Clay Holmes from last start to his next start. And again, with him, it's the same thing with McGill. It's consistency. Consistency is key. And if they could be consistent, then listen, the possibilities are endless. Last guy that got the start during that opening weekend series was Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning showed his familiarity with the Astros lineup, even though they have a lot of new pieces in there. But he went out there, he played, and he pitched his butt off. He did a really, really good job. Also went 5+ innings. There's not much you can ask for someone but to give you the best that they have. And if that's the best that he has, then I think, he's going to be a good 4 or 5 guy. And if he could give you more, if he could be better than that, listen, if there's anybody that I think that could bring that out of him, it's the pitching coach, man. Jeremy Hefner can bring that out of him, and he's done that. He got the Midas touch. So I believe that, hey, we did good pitching-wise, and, offensively, like I said, the hits didn't drop. But last night, the hits dropped. Last night, they went the distance. So I expect that to be the norm. I expect them to get more hits than not. Brandon Nimmo had his first home run. Pete Alonso, first home runs. Torrens, first home runs. There's a lot of talk about, hey, juice balls are back. If that's the case, fine. I'll take it. Pete Alonso's going to mash. But I will say this. The New York Mets have to be consistent on offense, on pitching, so like that they can bring it all together. I believe that's the case. We'll see what happens tonight. Kodai Senga, Sandy Alcantara. You already know the vibes. Let's go Mets.